on the cloud, if it works. And if you want to stick the playlist on or any other music, pop that on now. And we'll start sitting, just coming into the breath before we move. So get comfortable, pad yourself, and allow yourself to be kind of soft in body. So we don't want to be rigid, want to be strong but soft. Oh, there's Amy. I'm just going to check that Amy's on. Hello. Oh yes, you're on mute too. Perfect. So yeah, wiggle around, get comfortable, and then really focus on kind of letting the front body go, because that's often where we hold the tension, pulling everything in. Close the eyes or gaze softly. Start to feel the breath moving in the body. And I understand from people who suffer, hay fever is really bad at the moment. So if that's you, breathing in and out through the nose is not working because you're congested, then of course use the mouth to breathe. The other thing to say is, as we move through the practice, if at any point, particularly when we get to Shavasana, if you want to turn the camera off, you want to stay in Shavasana longer, or just don't want to feel observed, then please, I'm not going to be offended, just do that. Own your practice, meet your body where it's at this evening. I want you to try and move in a way that is enjoyable, that gives you pleasure. If we really are coming into week 6 of lockdown, that's a long time that we've been going through this process. So let's find the enjoyment, let's find the pleasure. Going to come into some box breathing at the start of our practice. So I'll guide you through a couple of rounds and then leave you for a few more on your own. And if when I guide you, the cadence doesn't feel quite right, then adjust it. But let's all go together. We'll inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, keep going. Make this your last round, and at the end of the second hold, drop back into just a regular rhythm of breath, one that you feel comfortable with, and then allow your eyes to gently open when you're ready, no rush. And then change the cross of your legs so that we can balance out, and we'll draw our hands together at heart center. Inhale, lift the fingertips up to the ceiling, and exhale, float the hands down. We'll do 2 more in that direction. So inhale, lift up. And exhale, float down. One more. Good. And then let's go the other way. So inhale, lift the arms up and exhale down. Two more. Inhale up and exhale down. One more. Good. Now we're just going to pop the hands onto the shoulders. Inhale, draw the elbows wide, and then exhale, draw the elbows in towards each other. I'm just moving the shoulder blades, the shoulders. Do one more like that. And as you're moving, you're just trying to move the shoulders, so you're not kind of moving the upper spine. That's staying pretty still. And then bring your hands out like goalposts. As you exhale, draw the hands down, and inhale, draw them up. So feel the shoulder blades moving up and down on the body. Good. One more. And then just rest the hands down. You may feel the urge to roll the shoulders. And then we're going to come to stand. And we're just going to work on warming up through the joints of the legs. If it's a wobbly day, if you've got something that you want to hold on to help, then use a wall, use the side of a sofa. We'll start with the right foot. And we'll just start by flexing, dorsiflexing and plantar flexing, one way and the other. And seeing how that feels. And then keeping the foot neutral, just going to turn so that the little toe or the edge of the little toe comes down, and then the edge of the big toe. So you're kind of rotating the foot from side to side. As far as possible, and it's really tricky, not moving the whole leg. So it's really just the ankle joints. And then take some circles with the ankle one way, and then the other way. And then staying on that leg, bending the knee, holding underneath the thigh, and just straightening as you inhale and exhale, drawing the leg back in. So just around the knee joints. One more. And then hand on the knee. I'm just going to open the leg like a gate post. It may not open particularly far today, that's fine. I'm going to be doing, the sequence involves lots of work on the hips. Just want to warm up. And then set that foot down, and we'll go on the other side. So start with the wobbly side, pointing and flexing. And then this weird sort of hinge-like movement, which on my left leg. Gosh, it's so tricky. And then some rotations, one way and the other. And then gently take the hand under the back of the thigh, straighten the leg, and bring it back in. And we're just supporting the back of the leg so that this is really focusing on the musculature around the joint rather than into the quads. And then we'll keep the knee drawn in, and then just take the opening of the gate a couple of times. And again, focusing the movement into the ball and socket joint rather than just kind of swinging the whole body around. Good. And then come down, soften the knees and just take some wiggles of the hips one way and the other. And then come back to stand. Let's just work on the length of the spine. So some standing cats and cows. So it's quite nice, I think, to have a little bend in the knees, hands on the thighs. As you inhale, lift the collarbones, shoulder blades squeeze in towards each other. And as you exhale, shoulder blades move away, chin to chest, round into the upper back. And there may not feel like there's that much movement there, that's fine. But just take it a few times. Keep going. Good. And then come to stand at the front of your mat. We're going to take some traditional sun salutations, so sun A's. I'll lead you through one slowly, one moving, one movement, one breath. and then leave you to do a couple more just to warm up the body before we come into our hip focused flow. So standing at the front of your mat, nice and firm through the feet, but again, not rigid. I'm going to inhale, reach the arms up. Look up, stretch up, feel the stretch under the armpits, and then exhale, softly fold down. Inhale, find your halfway lift. Exhale, both hands down, step back to high plank. And then your choice how you want to come down. You could drop the knees or take a full press up, gently lower down. Hands under shoulders, slide the upper body forward, strong through the legs, shoulders away from ears, and then press back, tabletop, and then lift up into down dog. First down dog, so we'll just stay here for a few breaths, maybe pedaling the feet, particularly if you're like me and the backs of your legs are really tight today. And feel the stretch under the armpits. And then when you're ready, rise up onto the balls of the feet and either walk or hop or skip or jump towards the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold again, and then press through the feet and inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. So that's the pattern. We'll move one movement, one breath now. But if you want to slow it down, please do. If you're coming with me, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands down, step back, high plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, back down to down dog. A breath in, a breath out. Look between the hands, inhale, and then exhale, forward into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Press into the floor, inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands into heart center. 2 more rounds, flowing with your breath. Inhale, reach up, and then go with your breath pattern, your movements. Let's come and watch you. Remember your practice, your body, work where it's at, meet your body. Oh, nice Chaturangas, guys. I can see that it's having its desired heating effect. His clothes are coming off. Nobody's quite got to the stage of one of my friends who's now doing yoga in her pants. And unusually, we are going to meet back at the front of the mat in Tadasana. So at the end of your second round, come all the way forwards. And then just rest. You could have your hands by your sides. In prayer, one hand onto the heart, one hand onto the belly. Really just feeling into whatever's right for you. Good. So from here, we're going to start to come into our flow, which hopefully you'll feel around your hips, but everything's interconnected, so we're not going to forget about the top half of the body. We're going to start in eagle pose. So I want you to take all of the weight into the left side of the body. Going to lift the right leg, cross it over, and it may just rest on the outside of the shin, or you may get the full wrap, doesn't matter. And then bring the arms up overhead. Oops, really wobbly. Your right arm is going to come underneath your left arm. And then feel the inner thighs squeezing in. Find your steady gaze point. So it's definitely not me because I'm moving. Three breaths here, or 3 more breaths. And then on your next exhale, very slowly unwind the right leg. Take it back behind you really slowly and come down into a high lunge. So back knee can be bent or straight. You're drawing your elbows away from the body, fingertips up towards the ceiling. And remember, if palms don't want to meet, backs of the hands are fine. Or you can even just cross the arms and have one hand on top of the elbow. I'm going to take this into a humble lunge. So inhale, lift fingertips, stretch through the front body, and then exhale, come down on the inside of that left foot. Crown of the head reaches down, fingertips reach down. I'm not going to go all the way because my earpieces drop out. So professional. Breathe here, press out through the heel of that right leg, and maybe even draw the hands slightly in front of the left foot to stretch through the shoulders. 2 more breaths. And then I want you to release the hands and frame the left foot with both hands, and then draw the hips back, coming into pyramid pose. You may feel that the stance is a little bit long here, in which case just bump the right foot forward. Aiming again to keep the front body long here, which may mean staying up in a sort of halfway lift space. If there's any tugging on the back of the knees, have little bends. Good. And then from here, you're going to bend into that left knee more. Walk your hands forward so that they're in front of the left foot like a pyramid shape. And then you're going to lift up, right leg comes high, standing splits. Not worried about the height, but just feel the inner thigh squeezing in so that the hips stay neutral. And then come up onto fingertips and very slowly lift up through warrior 3. And then you're going to stand all the way up, right knee into chest. And then you're going to cross the right leg over the left. Open the arms wide. Right arm under left. We're back in our eagle. Stay with the breath. And if you fall out, don't worry. We've got a second side. 1 more breath. And then exhale, unwind and come back to stand. You might feel like you want to lift the left leg and give it a little bit of a shake. It's been working really hard. And we'll take it on the other side. So focus all of that stability into the right leg. Left leg lifts up and crosses over. Once or twice. Take the arms out. Left arm wraps under right. Eagle. Squeeze into the midline. Find your gaze point. Stay. And just then take a moment to notice what's happened with the breath here. Are you holding it? Has it got a bit rapid? Can you slow it down? And then on an exhale, we're very slowly going to unwind the left leg. Take it back behind you, find your lunge, and then focus on drawing the elbows away from the face, fingertips up to the ceiling, finding length through that front body. On your next exhale, gently fold forwards, coming down on the inside of the right leg. Let the head go as well so that you're not holding tension in the neck. So this is a case of kind of do as I say, not as I do, because if my head comes down, then the ear bits fall out. 1 more breath. And then very slowly undo the hands, bring them either side slightly in front of the left foot. And then you're going to straighten the right leg, drawing back into your pyramid. And again, just adjust the length of your stance if that feels too long. Notice if all the weight is pressing forward into that front foot. Can you press into the back foot as well? Think about a neutral pelvis, so the right hip crease might need to draw back a little bit. And then a little bend into the right leg. Walk both hands forward Come up onto the ball of the left foot and then lift up into your standing split. And then from here, come up onto fingertips, lift up into your warrior three. Just as a transition, then we're going to stand all the way up, left knee into chest, wrap it around, separate the arms, left arm comes under right, back into your eagle. Hold it steady. For 3, for 2, for 1. Gently unwind, come all the way back. Maybe come down onto the left foot, give the right leg a bit of a shake to release. And then take a moment again, standing in your Tadasana. Breathe, settle the breath. And then coming to the front of your mat, going to inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forwards, come all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, think long spine. Exhale, fold down and make your way back to high plank. And then from your high plank, your choice, either take a vinyasa or a spinal roll or just hinge the hips, we meet in down dog. Again, the idea of the practice is to enjoy the movement, enjoy the holds. So if something doesn't feel like it's going to be working for you, then don't do it. From here, we're going to lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, I'm going to bring that leg forward and land it wherever it lands, and then help it in between the hands. Back foot turns in somewhere between, around about 45 degrees, and then windmill the left arm up. Warrior two. Really firm in your base here. And then we're going to take that right hand down onto the inside of that right thigh. So not with the palm up, have the palm down, or even hand onto the inner thigh. Turn to the side, just going to get a stretch into the inner groin here. If you want to kind of fire up your core as well, then just hover. And if you really want to fire up your core, take that hand forward, take the other hand over on top. Check in with your breath though. For 3, for 2, for 1. Good, come back down. Go to swivel both feet so that they're parallel, short side of the mat. Just start to move from side to side. So high snake squat. Again, feeling that stretch into the inner groin. You can take the hands away, you can fly. And then we're going to take it over to the other side. So you're going to pivot the left foot towards the back of your mat, right foot in, back into your warrior two. And just take a moment to think about that back leg, that you're not rolling down onto the ankle. Press through the pinky toe edge. And then you're going to come down onto your forearm, lift that right shoulder, feel the stretch on the inside of the left groin. And again, a little bit of core. You want to fire up, left hand forward, right hand over the top, reach. Two more breaths. And then right hand, lift yourself up into warrior two. And then turn both feet parallel with the short side of the mat, and then toe heel them in just a little bit. We'll take goddess pose. So heels stay where they are, toes move out, and then squat. So engaging the bum muscles, inner thighs, quads. Hold yourself here. And just to we're not doing this, we're doing this. So we're keeping the shoulders over the hips, we're not tipping our bottom backwards. So building more heat. You could maybe put the hands on the inner thighs just to make sure that they're not rolling in. So it's like the flesh is scooping up and round. Three more breaths here. Two. Sorry, that's a very long, slow breath. One. Inhale gently through the nose. And as you exhale, press through the soles of the feet. Stand up and toe heel the feet together. Give the legs a shake. And then we'll come back to stand. Going to take the weight into the left foot. Going to draw the right knee up. So we're balancing. Going to take it out to the side and then cross it behind and curtsy. How low you take it is entirely up to you. Leg comes back and it comes round again. Take it back and down. So just practice that, do a couple more. I'm going to combine two things in a minute. There's a real opportunity to feel that leg bone moving in the hip socket. Good. And then let's come back to standing. We'll take it on the other side. And you may well notice that one side is more stable or has a lot more movement in it. So draw the left knee in, take it out to the side, and then take it behind. And you may notice from the look on my face, this is not my easeful side. And we're moving slowly with intention. So we're not just relying on momentum to sort of fling the leg around. This is allowing you to feel. Couple more. Good. Lots of people curtsying really low. And then we're going to come back to stand. Second movement. So this time I'm going to draw the knee up and then cross the ankle over the other knee. And this time, unlike our goddess squat, we are going to stick our bottom out behind us. How low you go, again, entirely up to you. Stand up, knee to chest. And then you can either bring the leg down or you can just keep going, practicing that movement without getting the foot back down onto the floor. Let's do one more on this side. And then come back to stand. And we'll take it on the other side. So left knee in. And there's this external rotation, ankle over knee. And a sit down. Oh. I'm not going to watch this video back. My face will just be too hideous. So sit down. And it's really good to notice these disequilibriums in the body, any compensation patterns you've got going on. And some of that may just be because what you've been doing over the weekend or with your fitness regime, or it could be structural, just the way the skeleton is and the way the muscles are attached, fascial system. Let's do one more. So then come to stand. We're then going to combine those two movements. So we're going to start off. Let's do right knee into chest. Take the leg out behind. Curtsy down. Spring up. Leg back. Ankle across. And knee down. Knee in. Take it behind. Curtsy down. Knee up and around and across and sit down. This time, when you come down into your curtsy, however low you are, stay there. Breathe. If anyone has any arm balances like Kundalini in their practice that they want to come into, I'm not going to teach it, but if you want to bring the hands down and fly, now is a good time. And then we're going to take the weight. If you're flying, we'll wait for you. Take the weight into that left foot, stand back up, knee comes round, sit down. And again, we're going to hold this time. How low can you go? Maybe the hands come down. Maybe you come all the way down to a squat. And then press into the hands, press into the ball of the foot, stand back up. It's the wobbly one. Knee into chest. And then stand down. And then this time, pick the left leg up and give it a shake. And we will go on the other side. So left knee into chest, take it behind and curtsy. We'll do another one. Cross the ankle over and sit down. We'll do one more, and then on the third round, we'll hold. So this time we're going to keep moving. And the arms really doesn't matter, whatever helps you kind of balance. Last time. So this time we're going to stay in each of those end poses. So curtsy. And it doesn't matter how low or how high you are, when you feel the inner thigh squeezing in. If you're flying and balancing out, bring your hands down, tip over. Everyone else, just stay with the breath. And then we're going to take the weight into the right foot. Going to stand up, left leg comes round, cross the ankle over, and sit down. I don't know about you guys, I'm getting really hot. And then gently come all the way up to stand. This time, stay on the left leg. Give the right leg a squeeze. Well done. Actually, it might be quite nice just to give the hips a bit of a wiggle one way and the other. And then come to stand at the front of your mat. We're going to use we're coming back to down dog. So I'll cue you, but if you want to just roll back or just make your way back to down dog, then do so. If you're coming with me, we're going to inhale, reach up, stretch up, and then fold forward, soft in the body. Halfway lift, hands down, walk, step, hop, skip, or jump back into your plank. Lower, and then into your cobra or up dog if that's your preference. And then roll back into down dog. Take a moment, take a breath in your down dog. And then we're going to lift the right leg. And then we're going to open the hip, bend the right knee, send the left heel towards your left butt cheek, your right heel towards your left butt cheek, I should say. Enjoy that stretch. And then we're going to take this into half pigeon. So take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to bring that right leg forward, right knee behind the right wrist, right ankle behind the left wrist. Before you come down, on the ball of the left foot, wiggle it back behind you, and then bring the left knee down, left foot. For many of us, that right shin is nowhere near parallel the front of the mat. If it is parallel, make sure that you flex the foot. If it's not, don't worry so much if it's quite close into the groin. Before you come down, just think about your pelvis. It's quite possible the right hip will have rolled forward. You want to draw it back, which might mean you feel you come up higher. That's fine. Squeeze the inner thighs together. You almost want to be able to just sit up. Feel that engagement. And then come down onto your hands. And maybe start to come down onto forearms. If you feel any part of your pelvis is floating in space, then grab a cushion and just pop it under the floaty part to give you some support. Big, big stretch into the glutes, onto the external hip rotators. And then maybe you want to slide all the way forward. Wherever you end up, I want you to think about Can you relax your shoulders? Because quite often we're quite tense in our shoulders. There's a relationship between our shoulder blades and our pelvic girdle. So just soften down. Maybe use a long, slow exhale through the mouth to help that softening, releasing process. Couple more breaths. And then on an inhale, start to walk the hands back up so that they're roughly underneath the shoulders. Going to come up onto the ball of the left foot, lift the left knee, and then bring the right leg up, pull the hips back, three-legged dog. You may feel you want to just take some circles kind of with the knee to release around the hip socket. And then you're going to bring that right foot down. Bring the feet together at the back of the mat. And inhale, left leg up this time. And we'll start by lifting the knee to the ceiling, dropping the left heel towards the right butt cheek into that stretch. Breath here. And then on an exhale, going to bring that left knee behind the left wrist, left ankle behind right hand. Stay up on the ball of the right foot, wiggle the right leg back, and then come down onto the front of the leg. Make sure that that right foot doesn't roll, doesn't sickle. Draw the left hip crease back, which kind of means rolling from right hip forwards. Maybe just check, squeeze the inner thighs so you can sit up. And then start to come down. Take it progressively, so don't just kind of flop down. Come onto forearms, soften the shoulders. And then release down into your pigeon. Four more long, slow, steady breaths. And then use an inhale to walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. But this time we're going to bump onto the outer left hip. Going to draw the right leg forward, and we're going to come into double pigeon. So if double pigeon isn't accessible for you, if it doesn't feel the right pose, you're just going to come into Sukhasana, cross-legged, which would mean that the right ankle is under the left knee, left ankle is under the right. So rather than crossing kind of wide at the ankles, the legs are quite tight in. If you're coming with me into double pigeon, going to scoop the hands under the right ankle and right just under the knee, lift that leg and pop it on top of the left knee. So again, you don't want the foot onto the shin or calf. It's ankle to knee, knee to ankle. And so when you look down, kind of between the legs, there's a triangle shape there, and it should be a pretty equilateral triangle. Again, if this knee is way up here, then it probably makes sense to just cross legs. And then just take a moment to think about your torso and what I said at the beginning about having softness there, because if you're anything like me, we come into this position and it's a tough position and everything tenses up. Can you soften the rib cage? Can you soften the front of the body? Can you soften your face? Can you soften the jaw? Maybe turn the corners of the mouth up and just breathe. Sometimes it helps to have the hands out to the side as a counterbalance. If you're very open and you're not getting enough feedback and you feel like you want a deeper stretch, then you can bring those hands forward. But as you do that, don't let the shoulders creep up, just soften everything. And you can sort of play with the emphasis in this pose by how far you bring the fingers forward, by lifting the chest more or folding more. Just think about protecting the knees, so keeping the feet flexed wherever you are. Maybe close the eyes so you can really turn into that sensation, which is a strong sensation for most of us here. Three more steady breaths in your double pigeon. And then if you have hands in front of you on an inhale, walk them back in, sitting up tall. And then we're just going to straighten the legs out in front of us for a moment. Rotate the ankles one way and then the other, just to bring some movement back in. And then we're going to take it on the other side. So feel into it. The side's very possibly going to be different. So if you're taking the cross-legged version, your left shin is in front, left ankle underneath right knee, and vice versa. If you're coming into the double pigeon version, then just slide hand under the left ankle and the left kind of side of the calf, lift the leg and bring it over. Kind of adjust, keep both feet flexed. And this is my tight side. So your hands could be out to the side, they could just be resting down. Or again, if you want to explore, if you're not feeling the sensation in the upright position, take it forward. But honestly, if you're feeling loads of sensation when you are sitting up, and you can almost feel the breath catching or anything in the front body tightening, really question what's the point of trying to go forward if that's just going to create more tension in the body. It's always worth asking, what need is that satisfying, that desire to push it further? And what you may notice is, as we stay, if you can keep that breath smooth and regular, maybe there's some easing off of the sensation. But that's a big maybe, big maybe. It may stay just as strong as when you first went into the pose. But it may be that it's still as strong, but your tolerance has increased a little bit. Another reason that we practice. And then from here, on an inhale, if you're leant forward, bring yourself back up. And wherever you are on the exhale, unwind. Take the legs out in front. And if you need to, wiggle them around. So we're going to take half Gomukhasana, and those who want to come into full. So some of you will stay in half, some want to come into full. Our last kind of hippie pose, well, intense one, should I say. So we're going to lift the right leg up, cross it over the left. And it's not like the twist, it's not the sole of the foot down. We're coming onto the pinky toe edge. So knee is stacked on top of knee, squeezing the inner thighs. Again, see how this feels. This may be enough. If you want to come with me, I'll just demo. Going to bend that left leg. So knee stacks on top of knee. Feet draw away from each other. And as you do that, make sure that you're kind of centralized and that both butt cheeks are down on the floor. Otherwise, you're just leaning over to the side and you won't get the stretch in both hips. Again, resting. Notice if when you come into this, the shoulders get tense, soften and breathe. And just as we did in our double pigeon, if you crave, or if you're not feeling enough and you want more, then gently draw yourself into more of a forward folded position. But know that we're doing both sides. So if you are in the half version, you're going to get the stretch on the other side. Three more long, slow breaths. You can really get into these deep hip muscles. Let's take this last one. Everyone together, inhale through the nose, open the mouth and sigh it away. And then options here, if you're in half Gomukhasana, you're going to swap over, come to the other side. If you're in full Gomukhasana, you can do the same thing. Or if anyone wants to kind of do the trick where we end up on the other side, you're going to turn the body to the right foot and bring your hands down so that the fingers are facing the short side of your mat. Lift up so you come up onto the ball of the right foot. Start walking your hands around to the back of your mat. Keep going, keep swiveling on your feet. Bring the hands all the way around to the front. Knee crosses knee. And you're back over onto the other side. But the chances are you'll need to do a bit of wiggling and adjusting. Squeezing the inner thighs together. Pressing the pinky toe edges of feet down into the mat. Hands out to the side. They can rest down. Just make sure that the front of the body is soft. But I can't even bear to demonstrate this, but if you need more sensation, then allow the body to come forward. Yeah, I don't need any more sensation on this side. Come back to the breath, that anchor that keeps you in the moment rather than projecting forward into thoughts about how long am I going to be here for, anything like that. Three more breaths. And then let's take a shared breath together. Inhale through the nose, open the mouth, sigh it away. And then lean back, uncross the legs, bring the feet out in front of you and rotate. Just start it open in your Gomukhasana, cow face pose. And then just sit in Dandasana for a moment and just feel any sensations around the hips, around the legs, around the knee joint. Just breathe into that before we come to lay down. Notice if as you're sitting, you've got rigid again, stay soft. And then wherever you are, just check you've got enough space behind you to come and lie down. And then softly bring yourself all the way down to lie on your back. And then we'll come into Baddha Konasana, Supta Baddha Konasana. So just bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees move out to the side like the wings of a butterfly. If that feels kind of strong for you, you can turn your hands into fists and just place them kind of just outside your butt cheeks so that the thighs are supported. But if you're very open, might not need that. Let the spine settle down into the mat. Let the shoulder blades release down. And if this is just not a pose you want to be in, then constructive rest is a nice alternative where knees are knocked together, feet are to the edges of the mat, and you make this sort of self-supporting TP shape. Just a few more breaths here, just stretching the interior hip muscles, the adductors. And then we'll take hands onto the outer thighs, gently draw the knees together, and then draw the knees into the chest. Hug them in, and just draw some little circles from side to side. One way, and then the other way. And then you can either keep the knees into the chest, feet off the floor, or land the feet down. Take your arms wide, palms facing up, and then drop your knees over to the left. Gentle supine twist. And the gaze can be any direction that feels comfortable for your neck. As you stay, every exhale, can you feel like you're releasing down into the earth? So as we move towards our Shavasana, start signaling to the body that this is the journey to stillness, to relaxation, to letting go. Inhale, knees back up to center. And exhale, take them over to the other side. Left shoulder stays down. Let the focus be on the gentle, slow exhale. Two more breaths. And then gently on an inhale, draw the knees back to center. Lift your head and shoulders up, curl in, give yourself a hug. Is there any other closing shapes you want to make if you're a fan of Happy Baby? Otherwise, set yourself up for your rest, for your Shavasana. So if that means wrapping up, socks, blanket, padding in any shape or form. And remember what I said at the beginning, if you want to stay in Shavasana longer than the kind of 4-5 minutes we've got now, if you want to turn your camera off, then please do so. And then whatever techniques when you come to lie down in the shape that works for you, that allow you to enter that process of stillness, of relaxation, of letting go, and do those now. Take a moment to track any sensations that are lingering in the body. And then let that awareness just drift away and come into your rest. Start to become aware of your body, sensation of the back body resting down on the ground. And then allow gentle movement to come in, fingers and toes, stretches. Just that gentle, gradual process of bringing yourself back into Monday evening. And when you're ready, and I stress when you're ready, roll over onto one side. Support yourself with your hands, pressing into the floor as you bring yourself up. And find that comfortable seat again, whatever that might be. Keep the eyes gently closed or just gazing to the floor in front of you. Let's just place one hand onto the heart, one hand onto the belly. Take a few long, slow breaths here. Just allow yourself to feel whatever's coming up for you. Your body, your practice. And then gently draw the hands together at heart center. Bow your head. Take a moment to honor your body, honor your practice. Recognize the fact that you've carved out time for yourself, to nourish yourself, to look after yourself. So important so that we can support others. Thank you for sharing your time with me this evening. Gently take thumb knuckles to forehead center. Namaste.